recording? Yeah? Okay, so, well, I'm Luke from Clearance Crafters and Vintage of Surrey, and many of you ask, where did it all begin? So, sit back and let me tell you where it all began, how it's going, and where we see it. So where did it all begin, you ask? It was back 5.5 years ago when I actually began my journey with Clearance Crafters, and previously, directly before that, I was an estate agent for over 3 years, and I would be more interested in the items in the house rather than actually selling the house, and I ended up clearing a couple of houses which I sold. I would hire a van on my days off and go and clear the property, and witnessing what people would throw away and disregard and just label as rubbish, I was absolutely just taken back by what was being thrown. And I had so much enjoyment out of clearing these couple of houses that it got stuck in my brain, and I just thought, one day I'm going to start a clearance company. And one day I did. The vision. We all had the vision when we set out a journey of self-employment, and my vision was simple. I wanted to have a house clearance company, and then eventually the 5-year plan was to have a shop. And after a very, very hard but successful year with the building Clearance Crafters up, I set out to look for a shop, and I found this place where we are now, the Stables in Kenley. But it wasn't plain sailing. After I first viewed the property, along came something we may all have heard of, COVID. And it threw a bit of a spanner in the works. So it took a whole year until we actually got the keys for this building. A whole year of ups and downs, the uncertainty for many people, including ourselves, while still trying to run and get going the clearance business amongst all that. So it really was tough times, but you know, persistence, determination, and the vision kept us alive, and that's where we ended up. After 2 years of starting Clearance Crafters, we got the keys to the shop. So the shop, let's go on to the shop. So it is the ultimate hub for us, what we do as a clearance business, but also for the shop. It's open to the public 4 days a week. Not only that, it's got our office here where I have an amazing team who will look after the running of the shop, but also our online platforms such as eBay, Etsy and Vinted. And it wouldn't be what it is today without them. I can't possibly do everything, and the guys can be left to it whilst I'm out clearing houses and buying stock for the shop. Now, someone said to me, what's the question we get asked the most? And I, without fail, on a weekly basis, sometimes several times a week, we will get approached either in the shop, at a car boot sale, mainly online, Instagram and TikTok, and people will ask us and say, how do you start a clearance company? What is your process? How do you get work? What do I need? Now, I'm not joking when I get that message several times a week, and it takes a lot of time for me to respond, and I will always respond. I will always help anyone who is looking for help and who reaches out to me, who may be inspired, whatever reason. I'll always help anyone. So what I've done, it was taking me so long just to type these individual messages up. I sat down and I put together this guide. Now this is the Clearing with Care business guide, and this is a guide that I put together myself over 3 months, and this tells you exactly how to start and successfully run your own house clearance company. It has got everything in there, and let me run through the contents exactly of what you can expect. Now this is a 15-page guide, and it starts with introduction, at a glance, your plan, your name and logo, pricing, your website, vehicle, insurance and license, workwear, equipment, advertising, staff, storage, the clearance process, how to price a job, gaining knowledge, our process, your reputation, to loan or not to loan, and finally, it takes time to build. It does take time to build. You've got to bear in mind that this business has taken 5.5 years to build. It's been a lot of hard work. There's been a lot of ups and downs. There's been a lot of times where I thought, is this going to work? You get setbacks. You get good times, bad times. You find good things. You have rubbish jobs. But overall, it's so enjoyable. And we're doing a good thing. And we're providing a fundamental service in a place where perhaps people don't know our service actually exists. So people need to know more about the clearance industry itself, and particularly the house clearance industry. If I just started out, again, this is what I would want. This is as full of amazing tips, and it was set off on the right track. This is available from us directly. Hard copies and digital downloads. A hard copy is £28 on our Etsy. So if anyone's interested in a copy of this, ping me a message. I'll send you a link. Grab a copy. That includes the postage as well. And I can assure you that'll be the best investment that you make in your journey to start and successfully run a house clearance company. It will make it a lot easier with this than it is without. So going back to our shop, and you know how that began, because now it flows well between the clearance company and the shop, but there was a time where, you know, it was still very early on with clearance crafters, and just at the beginning of Vintex of Surrey, I had to put a lot of work in to keep clearance crafters moving in the right direction and get Vintex of Surrey going. And what a crazy time that was. Straight after COVID, we opened the shop. Straight after COVID. So there was so much against us, but if anyone asks me what has made it successful, it is the love and the passion in what I do day in, day out. When I was an estate agent, I liked the job. I didn't love the job. I was always waiting and seeking for that next thing to come along. And this was it. This working for myself, doing what I love, doing it my way, is what has made my business successful. I don't wake up on a Monday morning and think, like many do, I've got to go to work. It's quite the opposite. I wake up and I can't wait to get to work, because every day's different, every day's enjoyable, and across the both companies we have such a great team with such a variety of characters amongst us all, and different knowledge from different angles, and everyone just works so well together, and it works. The clearance company feeds the shop. And I'd say in the shop, probably around 70 to 80% of what you see comes from house clearances. The other 20-30% is stuff that we buy. So when we have time off from the clearances, we go out and buy them. Whether that be private customers in their houses, or whether that be a road trip down to Dorset, as you may have seen on some of our content, we are always actively buying. And it's just as enjoyable as everything else we do. and I've never looked back since. Never ever. I love it. What does the future hold for us? Who knows? I mean, it's such early days still. I mean, the clearance card is only just 5 years. The shop's only 3 years. I feel like we've sort of made ourselves known within the industries in a good way. Being so early on in this whole journey. Who, you know, when you look 5 years time, 10 years time, 20 years time, who knows where we're going to be? But I'm not trying to be anywhere. I'm going with the flow, and I'm enjoying these waves at the moment. I'm enjoying everything. If anything comes our way, we'll take the opportunities. I would love to do some kind of TV, whether it be part of an existing show, or ideally create our own show. I feel like we have so much to give, and we can create so much content. We can show the ups and downs of a business, a clearance business. We can show the houses we're clearing, the customers we're working with. Where does that stuff go? Show you behind the scenes in the shop. Show you the funny things that we get up to, the stressful moments. There's bad bumps and there's good bumps, and the things we're uncovering, the historical things we're uncovering, and we donate things to museums and charities, and we can capture all of this, the car boot sales, the antiques markets. There's so much for us to capture, and it's difficult for us to do it. So if we had a TV show to do that and work with us, we would welcome it with open arms, and I genuinely think the public would want to see it. I really do. I think it would be an eye-opener. I think it would be entertaining. I think it would raise awareness that this, you know, certainly the clearances and some of the clearances we do, this is real life. This is a raw insight into real life, and to capture those moments, I think would be outstanding. So, you know, that's perhaps where we'll head. But who knows? As long as we're enjoying it, that's all that matters. So I want to take this opportunity just to thank everyone for watching this video. Hopefully it's given you an insight into us, and maybe even inspired you along the way to join on board and maybe start a clearance company, or even have a little antique vintage shop. Who knows? Any questions, pop them in the comments below. I'm more than happy to answer any. And don't forget to like, comment, share, and of course subscribe to our channel, because the more subscribers we get, the better content we can create for you. Thank you for watching.